Okay, we got us another sound test we're doing here, folks. Testing 1 2
Sound
testing.
test 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Please be working properly this time. We would appreciate it.
Yeah, no overlap. I
No
hope.
overlap, no delay. Please. Can I get an amen? Anyone out there, give us a feedback on this mic. We'd appreciate it. Hello.
We'll know when.
Well, she should be letting me know right now. Let's see what she says. Come through, Candace, like we need to know something. It's not working. What do you mean it's not working? Come on, guy. It's not working. Is it working? Can we get an amen? Can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes, it works. Or not.
We got 1 minute to find out.
We'll go. 1 minute and we got to go. Nothing?
It's working.
It's working?
Well, I'm asking her right now if it's working.
You said, can I get an amen?
And she hit amen on
I
there.
guess she did say amen.
So we are.
All right,
it's
so
good.
we're live. It's
It's good.
4:59 p.m. on my little phone over there.
Yeah.
Your computer's showing a messed up time, but yeah, we're right there. We're live, guys.
Messed up time. Let me
We are live.
refresh. Let's go.
If you're watching this on the Facebook page, which it should be coming on there, yeah, if you play that button there, yeah, if you're watching this on Facebook, you need to go to the link that we put, http // whatever that is. What does that say?
ustre.am/1IKAG. It's we posted it all over, so
Yeah.
so hopefully.
And on there you can chat with us. There's got a chat section. You can put your questions in there, and we'll be able to help you out and answer anything you need to know about the tournament.
Yeah, we can do that. Anything you want to type in and send us a chat room question, we can answer it live feed straight to your phone or your computer, wherever you're listening from today. And Wade and I are just here to talk about the SpeckMasters tournament series that we've started up. This is a brand new year, 2015, and we're going to have 5 events total. 4 will be regular tournament events. We'll take the top points leaders in the amateur and pro divisions, and we'll have a fish-off at the end of the year for the championship for an FCJ boat powered by a Honda engine with a McLean trailer on it. And I might add that the McLean trailer is a torsion axle aluminum trailer to go with it, a Honda engine, and an FCJ boat with all the trimmings. And that'll be for the winner of the championship. That'll be in November. But we're going to start out in June with our first, or April with our first event. But furthermore, coming up, we're going to have a test run. We're trying to go high tech with all this, with computers and big time weigh scales that we bought, and we're going to have a free tournament in March. And what we're going to do with that is we'll no entry fee. Everybody can enter. You must be a SpeckMaster member to enter. And once you have your membership, you're automatically in. And we're going to give out a $1,000 free cash prize at the end of the tournament for the best stringer. And we're going to do that as more of a trial run, check out all of our scales, make sure all of our leaderboards, all that are working, and then we'll be good to go in April with our first main event. And we're guaranteeing, for the amateur division, we're guaranteeing $10,000 cash for the first place winner. That's the biggest 6-fish stringer, or however many fish it takes to win, no more than 6. And you'll weigh in 3 speckled trout per day, minimum 16-inch limit, and then you'll have 1 allowed per day over 25 inches. And this is an individual event, not a team event. You can have buddies fish with you in the boat, and then the pro division is going to be the same way. $10,000 guaranteed for the top pro, the biggest stringer. And what we'll do is just it's pretty much basic like my old tournament was when we had it going. And if you do want to fish with a pro, you can book a pro and go with him, or whatever you work out with him. And we're hoping we can keep all the fish alive, and we're not going to penalize you tremendously for a dead fish. We know that happens with trout fishing. In all the years I've been doing it, it's hard to keep trout alive, but we'd recommend you try your best to keep them alive, because we want to return them back to the resource so we can have more to catch in the future. And it's just the right thing to do these days. But if you do lose a trout, you only get a 1/4 pound penalty. That's 4 ounces. And so that it won't hurt you too bad in the end, but we don't want you killing fish if you don't have to. We'd love to see everybody keep them alive. And I know a lot of boats don't have adequate live well systems in them. And what I did in the past when I fished tournaments, I had good live wells in my boats, but what I made sure of, I always had backup oxygen. I always kept that flowing through the tanks and keeping my water cool. And we are going into summer months with this tournament, so that's going to be real critical, is oxygenating the water properly and keeping it cool. That's the 2 key ingredients to keeping trout alive in these tournaments. And redfish, but we're doing trout. And trout are a lot more difficult to keep alive than redfish, but we're just going to go through the motions. And we got great sponsors coming in to play with us already. You know, we've picked up some really good sponsors. We appreciate each and every one of those, and we're welcoming all sponsors to come in, so we as tournament officials can promote their product through some of the best fishermen on the coast. And that's what this tournament's all about, is to bring back what we had in the past with some elite tournament fishermen of all walks of life. You know, whether you're amateur or pro, it doesn't matter. We're gonna put you on the stage and promote how good you really are. It's kind of like back in the days. There's so many top-notch guides nowadays that are fishing for a living, and they cut their teeth with the old SpeckMasters tournament we used to have, and now we've brought it back with SpeckMasters. And I kind of like the name and the new look and the logo and all that. Y'all,
yeah.
Wade, y'all have done a good job with all that,
well,
man.
Thank you. Yeah,
y'all
it
really
looks great. And I think it's going to be a good event. We're also looking at trying to promote some people to come out and set up to sell product out there as well. Anything and everything. We've got some great venues, plenty of space for everybody. Spectators more than welcome. We're going to have food, beverage out there at each one of the events. They'll have, restaurant and everything, full deal. So.
Bar and pub for all the
yeah.
party animals, especially
right,
the captain's meeting the night before.
That's right.
Show up, don't be scared, just show up and come out and participate with us. And the money's going to be good, and hopefully we can get this thing built into a big entry base and a big sponsor base, and we'll be fishing for big bucks again before you know it. And well, $10,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, for the amount of entry fee we're going to be playing, it's going to be a 2-day event. You weigh in your best 3 trout each day, 16-inch minimum. And here's another important thing about tournament fishing. I saw this so much back in the day when guys they'd be embarrassed because they had like a couple of 16-inchers and one about 18. They had a bad day the first day. They knew they were on good fish, but they couldn't catch them. And they wouldn't weigh in the first day. They were embarrassed to come bring those 3 small fish in. Well, let me tell you, a lot of tournaments were lost like that, because the next day, inevitably, they went out and their big fish bit, and they caught a big sack of fish. And if they would have just had those 3 little ones to go with it, well, they'd have won the big money. And we even have a big trout side pot for, what is it, $25 or $50?
It's $50.
$50, yeah. And what we're going to do, we're going to pay 3 places in that, and that'll be the top 3 fish of the event, pro and ams all combined in the big trout pool. And we'll pay that out on a scale. And if you just have that magic weekend and you catch two big huge trout and you win first and second, that's big money. And 60% of it'll be 100% payback. And say if there's $10,000 in the big trout pot, you win big trout, you're going to get $6,000. Second place will get $2,500.
That's right.
And third place will get $1,500. So that's nothing to sneeze at. That pays your entry and a lot of gas and entries in the future. So that's
And also, we've got the junior event, giving away the $10,000 scholarship. That would be, all the juniors from 10 to 17. And they're going to compete for a $10,000 scholarship, no entry fee. But they do have to, have to be with a...
they have to be with an adult or a guardian to fish. They can't go out on their own.
Right. They need to be, and that guardian has to be over 21 and must be entered in the event as well.
And everybody fishing together, that's the thing with this tournament. In all the boats, everybody has to be entered in a tournament. Unless you've got somebody in the media or a cameraman or something, then you have to get an exclusion from us. We'll release that and let them go with you.
Yeah.
But they can't fish or take a rod and reel or anything like that.
All they can do is take up space.
All they can do is take up space, that's right. But it'll be fun. I just want to bring back this blue-collar type trout fishing again, like we had it before, where everybody's equal. And when we fish Galveston, the first year all our tournaments are going to be here. That way we can build our sponsor base and work all the cobwebs out, and so we can do the entire coast next year, make stops, like at Matagorda and Port O'Connor and Rockport and Corpus, places like we did in the past. And we just want to make sure everything's above board before we do set out and run up and down the coast like that. But it's a great opportunity for everybody, really. And our sponsors out there, a lot of guys will get their sponsors to help them with entry fees and everything else, and it just makes the world go round. It supports the fishing community, and that's what I like about it. It's hard for mom and pop tackle stores and things like that to stay open without a good fishing community, and I think Texas has probably some of the best fishermen. Well, as a matter of fact, I know they do. I've fished all over in tournaments all back in the day, and it's hard to beat Texas boys. Well, Louisiana's got some pretty good fishermen, but Texas as a whole, it's a more difficult state to fish. If you fish the entire thing from Galveston Bay all the way down to the lower Laguna Madre, it takes a lot of skill. And what it does, it makes guys learn how to fish all these areas, and it'll make you a better fisherman for it. I mean, you can see that with a lot of guys that fished the old Troutmaster circuit back in the day. You got guys like David Rousey and Kevin Cochran and on that end of the coast that they weren't guides back then, and now they are. They're very accomplished fishermen. And then not to mention all the guys up here like Plog and Friarmood and Tim Young and guys like that. It just it made them learn how to fish. It enhanced their skills, so to speak. So,
and of course those guys will be fishing in the pro division.
Yeah.
And everybody else will have a chance to, catch some big fish as well. So
you can enter up and fish against them.
That's right.
And a lot of guys don't do that.
That's right.
We just want to make it a more fair playing field for everybody. Like the amateurs, a guy that doesn't have the skills of an accomplished pro or something, he can enter an amateur division and have a good chance and a good shot at winning him some money or getting up on the leaderboard a good ways. And plus, these Galveston events are going to be Galveston boundaries only. We're not going to let everybody run, 200 miles to go fish somewhere else. I think it evens the playing field more when everybody in the event has to fish the same waters, the same times, and all that. We're going to let you launch where you want to. You don't have to. We won't have a preferred launch site where everybody has to put in one place. That enables guys with smaller boats to pull to a ramp close to their fishing grounds, and especially with bad weather conditions. We don't want anybody running across open water. And I mean, I've had so many close calls in the days wishing that we'd have had a launch like this where you could put in. What we'll do is control it with a polygraph, and for the time you leave the dock, you can have your boat in water before it's time, but we'll have a start time of 30 minutes before sunrise, and that'll all be posted to the captain's meeting. Everybody that has a cell phone, your cell phone will tell you when you can leave the dock. Say if sunrise is at 7 a.m., well, that'll put 30 minutes before sunrise is 6:30, and that'll be start time. But we'll post those start times at every event, and it'll just it all coincides. It worked before, and it'll work again. And I think this with the fishermen we have these days, there's so many more accomplished fishermen that know how to do it, and that are lure fishermen and take pride in the sport. And I think we'll have a I think it'll be an awesome venue. I really do. I think it'll go
I
big.
think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I swore I'd never get in the tournament business again. I'm back, and I just couldn't stay away from it. I mean, you meet so many good people, and I had so much fun with it over the years, and it's just what we do. It's just part of life.
Yeah.
It's in your DNA, so to speak.
Well, I'm excited to partner up with you on this thing. I think it's going to be a
getting any
big deal,
questions?
man. No, nobody's saying anything. I don't know what's
And
going
we got
on
two
out there,
computers
guys.
going, and if you can, if you want to,
just follow that link, and if you got any questions, you want to,
that's it.
drill into.
I
You got
posted
concerns?
on my Facebook page. You did it on yours. We did it on the SpeckMasters.
SpeckMasters?
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's everywhere. So
that link's on there. And
should be able to get.
And
to
if
it.
you're watching out there, we don't have any way of knowing how many people are watching, but we're good
this
to go.
is true. We do not have that capability.
No,
to
we
see
don't.
that.
We don't
So-
know who's watching or how many, but
Well, we got 133 views,
yeah,
but I don't know if that's
133
right
views.
now.
We don't know whether that's y'all watching or not, but
Yeah. But we sure would like to know if you guys got any questions or anything that's going on out there.
oh, come on.
Yeah. Mickey had a little technical error.
Well,
there.
I went to click. I could barely hear a little sound, and I wanted to get it off so we don't get any back feed or anything, but it went the wrong way with my computer skills.
Well, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull off the stream. Probably come back in a little bit. Follow that URL. We'll come back and check in. Probably log back in here about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll take a break.
Give you guys some time to let this register and set in. We should have posted this earlier, but we didn't. So let's try this back at 5:30. I'll go ahead and put another link on Facebook, letting everybody know we'll be back on at 5:30. So
Yeah.
if anybody's got any questions, go ahead and type them in on the link page there, and the social streaming. There'll be here we got one.
Here we go.
Who's allowed to enter the amateur division, and who has to fish the pro division?
Okay, if considered it a pro, if you've guided in the last 3 years, you hold a guide license. A captain's license doesn't matter, but if you guide for hire or you fish professionally for money and you've won a substantial amount of money, you must fish the pro division. The amateur division is for the newcomers that are trying to work their way up into being a pro fisherman. And what we'll do is, like if you enter the amateur division this year and you win one, well, you'll stay in that division because you're going to be going for Angler of the Year with your points. We're going to have a point system
Yes.
for amateurs and pros alike, and that's how we're going to determine how many people get into the championship, the fish off for the boat in November after the tournament series is over. We'll have that championship. We'll invite the top amateurs and the top pros, and we're going to see how many we get. Right now, if we have a big turnout and a lot of participation, we'll probably take the top 50 from each division and make a top 100 across the board, and then they'll enter and fish for that boat and a lot of cash and other prizes too. So, but if you've it's like if you fish professionally, I mean, there is a difference than just being a weekend warrior or just a regular old Joe that fishes tournaments. But if you've won a tournament where it's paid you a substantial amount of cash, don't we have a limit on that? If you've won so much money?
Yeah, it's $750 in cash.
In cash, yeah.
Or more in
Yeah.
the last 5 years.
Now, what if a guy fished a tournament, an amateur fisherman fished a tournament like the Star or something and won a boat a year or two ago? Would he be considered a pro fisherman after doing that?
Well,
Win a
that's
boat prize? I mean, the Star makes you sit out for 3 years and then you can come back to it.
Right, exactly. Well, I think that, some more along the lines of that. I mean, that depends. I don't think I wouldn't consider that as a registered tournament
Yeah.
or a tournament. That is just
Right.
an ongoing, membership fee. Go out
But
there
like
fishing
if
and
you
get
fish
lucky, but
like Rudy's or you fish the Redfish
Yeah,
Tours or
that's
anything
right.
like that, and you receive more than $750 cash prize
Right.
for an event, then that would consider you as a professional because you are, theoretically you are fishing for cash and you have been paid cash for what you've done. So that
Right.
would determine a pro is what I'd say.
Yeah, I think the Star Tournament should be considered an open event
Right.
And that doesn't constitute you as a pro. And that's my opinion. So I think that's what we're gonna just state that as being fact and roll with it.
Well, we just want to make it fair for everybody. And
Also got a question here about the Guardian, 21 or over, or 21 and over. So you have to be over 21 or 21.
well, there's 21 and over.
21 and over, yeah.
21 and older, like say if you're a 16 or 17-year-old and you've got a friend that you fish with that's 21 or over, he could be considered your guardian.
Yes.
If you're going in the boat with him or however.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's 21 and over. Yes.
We're in this for safety reasons also, and we don't want anybody unsupervised and getting hurt for any reason. But that's a good opportunity for young kids nowadays to participate on this level and throw lures and weigh your fish in and all that, and learn what it's all about, how to fish these tournaments and what it takes to win them. And then to be able to win you a $10,000 scholarship at the end of the year, that's pretty hefty too. That'll buy a lot of books and a lot of tuition.
Yeah, it will. That's right.
It sure will.
That's right. And depending on if we get more sponsors for that tournament,
that could grow.
That junior division for the year. I mean, we're not setting that level at the $10,000. I mean, we would like to give out more than one $10,000 scholarship. I mean, we're looking for sponsorships for that as well.
Yeah.
And for sponsorships, period, across the board. I mean, we've got some great stuff we've already got in the works. We've got Salt Life has stepped up. They're giving us a bunch of glasses, sunglasses they've got with the Zeiss lenses and the Italian frames.
It's like the ones I wear.
Yeah, exactly.
I love them. They're great. They're great.
Rapala's giving us a basket full of stuff. I mean, we're going to get some lures and some knives and weighing equipment and
fins braid. We'll have plenty of line and just a lot of good opportunities.
That's right.
And we're still growing. I mean, we just started this January 1st, so we're going through growing pains right now, and it'll only get better. I have all the confidence in the world that it's gonna go a long way.
Yeah.
And we'll just continue to grow as we go.
Yeah.
And we hate to exclude a lot of. Well, I know a lot of guys from South Texas. They're going to come up here and fish anyway.
Oh yeah,
even though we're not having it down
calling.
there, and they're old trout masters that fish the entire coast back in the day. They know how to fish Galveston.
That's right.
It'll be a good start for us, and we'll do But don't forget about the free tournament coming up in March. That's going to be fun. We'll have a good time with that, and it'll give us a chance to test out all of our equipment and get all the bugs worked out. And it's kind of like Wade and I trying to get all this live streaming up today.
Yeah, this has been fun.
Figure this out.
Yeah, man, this has been crazy.
It has.
I'm just hoping it's working properly. Look, it seems to be. So, also, like I say, we need to go to SpeckMasters.com, and you'll see the events located on there. You should have the capability to register for that March series event. If you go to events at the top of the page, you'll see it right there. It's ready to rock. The way we're doing the login on the website, if there's any questions about that, it's kind of it's not just register. You basically, you have to become a member to compete in any of the events, even the free event for March. But basically, there are 3 different levels of entry and 3 different levels of membership. So if you come in and you're an amateur, well, you're going to register as an amateur, member. If you want to be in the junior division, you register as a member in the junior.
That's right.
And of course, a pro registers as a pro. That is for membership fee as well. Also, there is, if you just want to be a part of the members, a member of the SpeckMasters Association, which we are currently working on doing a nonprofit on that for trying to increase these scholarships for these kids.
That's right.
That's what we're going to try to push for, is money for young anglers to get out there and get to school and keep them on the water and help them out, keep fishing. And
I hadn't seen too many kids get in trouble with a fishing rod in their hands,
right.
I can tell you that.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard.
It will. Well, they got to know their priorities.
So, yeah, just check out the website. We'll also be streaming live from the events as well for each of the turn-ins. And, so those will be available on the website. It's a progress. We're still working on the website. So But yeah, just check it out. Go in there and check out the rules. They're all registered on there. All the registration information, membership information, anything you need to know is there as well. So let us know.
Yeah, and we're in the SpeckMasters tournament boat, the FCJ boat. That'll be in the fishing show coming up next week at the George R. Brown Convention Center. That starts at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And we'll all be in there at the show all week long. You know me, I'll be emceeing it like I always do for Dave Holder. They're good people. And you can stay tuned on the Sports Radio 610 Outdoor Show also that I host. And we'll keep you informed on times and seminars. There'll be a lot of good seminars going on for 5 days in there. So it'll be a good 5-day show. But you'll be able to check this boat out firsthand. It'll be a nice prize for the winner of the championship.
Yeah,
and
it's a beautiful boat.
It is. It's got a beautiful trailer under it, nice Honda engine on it. It's good to go, man.
McLean did it right on that one, man. It's nice.
Ready to fish. It is ready to rock.
That's it.
So.
You can load it up with some voodoo shrimp, man. We're going to have plenty of voodoo shrimp and voodoo mullets out here.
Egret baits, man. They come to the table big time.
So that's wonderful.
And they're going to have their own tournament. Our first tournament's going to be named after them.
The second tournament, actually.
Tournament,
that's the voodoo. The Voodoo, it's Egret Baits SpeckMasters Open.
Voodoo Shrimp Open, we'll call it.
Yeah, that's it, man. The old Voodoo.
And that's a good bait. That'd be cool if somebody won the tournament on one of those, on using their lures. But
I got a guy just
what you got here?
Came in through here.
That's Vivian.
Yeah, Vivian wanted to know if you can go from amateur to pro during the season.
Yeah, if you want to.
If you want to make the jump. And you can do it.
If you want to make the jump, go for it.
Yeah.
We had that happen with Trout Masters back in the day. We had a lot of guys just go ahead and switch on over.
Really?
And you can do that, yeah. What they were doing, they got off to a bad start and weren't doing so good in the amateur division. Figured, the pro points are a little bit lower. I'm going to jump over there.
There you
maybe
go.
I can do good in one and get my points up on the pro side and then get in the championship.
That's awesome.
And Caleb Hart weighing in. Captain Caleb.
Caleb, there he is.
Yep. What up, Caleb? Yeah.
I want to know if you can fish with the customers in the boat.
Well, yeah, but they got to be in the tournament. They got
and then you have to be in the tournament too.
Right.
So,
everybody in the boat has to be in the tournament. Unless authorized otherwise by us, you get a good written consent. If you got a video guy or a camera guy you want to take along, media, what have you, sports writer, then we'll give you special privileges for that. But as far as, just taking somebody with you, no. Everybody's got to be in the tournament.
And, of course, we tell people to take advantage of that. I mean, go out and get a guide from the amateurs.
Well, it'll promote the guide business too.
It'll help the guides out. I mean, it gets them out there. They can put you on the fish. I mean,
plus it'll enable their chances to catching fish. I mean, what better way to go than go with a guide?
You pay for their time, pay for their entry. I mean,
and you'll learn something.
It can be worth it. Yeah, that's right.
And he can fish. He'll be competing against his division while you're competing against others in the amateur division.
That's right.
But never give up in these. I've seen big trout pots won with one fish. A guy walk out there with big bucks at the end of the tournament because he never gave up. And that's why I always liked the big trout pot, because it kept everybody fishing for 2 days. I know a lot of people go, oh, man, that's so grueling. But, man, I fished tournaments where you had to fish 3 days. And it'll wear on you. But you know that you've got that one next cast. You put on like say if I bombed out on Saturday and I've said there's no way I can come back and win this thing. Well, I'm gonna tie on the biggest, baddest lure I got, and I'm gonna go get in the water and wade fish somewhere, and I'm gonna chunk, and I'm gonna fish for a big bite.
That's right.
And you never know, that big bite could turn around and put $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 in your pocket. You just never know. But we do have that. As everybody knows that are avid trout fishermen know, you can only keep one fish over 25 inches a day. Here's a question that always came up. Now, when we fished Florida in the redfish tournaments, once you put a fish in a live well, it couldn't come out. It stayed there.
Right.
In Texas, the laws are different. Now, say you're sitting on a pretty good 3-fish sack in your live well. All your fish are good and alive and look good, and then you roll that one big monster, an 8-pounder, all of a sudden, boom, I got an 8-pounder. Well, you got a 6 in there, he's over 25. But if he's in good shape and you can put him in the water and he swims off and he's got a good chance of making it, you can call that fish. But the polygraph will police this. If you get polygraphed and you released a dead fish to better your catch, then you're going to be busted for that. And we don't want that to happen. We want integrity at the highest level. And We're not letting people in this tournament that have been in other tournaments before and done some bad things, what I think are bad things, and get caught breaking the rules and be disqualified for that and fail the polygraph. You're not permitted to fish in this tournament.
That's correct.
We want a good, clean slate.
That's right.
And what we'll do is as these weigh-ins get going good, it's going to take us some time to get a good system down to where we make sure these fish make it. If you do have a fish that dies that we know is not going to make it when we release it, we're going to give it back to you. What we'll do is take the pectoral fin on the side, the one behind his head, and we'll snip it off to mark that fish. That way we know it can't be in somebody else's hands and come to be weighed in by somebody else. And you retain that fish and ice it down in your boat and take it home and clean it and eat it, or give it to someone.
Yeah.
But don't throw it away and waste it. But the live fish, what we're going to do, all of our events are going to be right on the water where we can get these fish back in the water as soon as they're weighed in. We're going to have runners that are going to take them straight to the water and release them and make sure they swim off. If we're going to watch the area, if we have any pop-ups, we'll scoop them up and then we'll ice them down and give them back. But we don't want to waste anything. You'll take some?
I'll
take some fresh trout?
I'll cook 'em.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, and just saying, too, you're allowed 3 fish to come into weigh-in. Now, the law says you can catch 10 speckled trout. You can retain 10, your limit for that one day. And, I'm not going to penalize you if you want to keep fish to eat. I mean, that's your prerogative. The law says you can catch 10, but you can only bring 3 to the scales. Like when you, it's up to you to determine. We're only going to weigh these fish one time. And when you come to the scales with your weigh bag, with your fish in it, with water, hopefully they're all alive, you'll take your biggest fish out first. And what we'll do is we'll measure it, which hopefully all of you guys, big fish, will be over 25 inches.
Yeah, let's hope.
Someone, you can eyeball them and tell. But we'll measure that fish and get it back and, get him on the scales and weigh him, and then that'll be your you'll get your weight for that particular fish for the big trout pot, and then we'll put the other 2 in the scales in a basket right next to him that we know are legit. They're over 16 inches, and it's not another one over 25, and then that'll be your total weight. And these new scales we've gotten have, man, I'm impressed with them. What's going to happen? This is going to eliminate a lot of like most of the weigh-ins, you're going to be in the wind. That's just inevitable. When you're trout fishing these tournaments, you're going to have wind on the coast. These are going to eliminate that, and these are magnetic scales that register that weight and lock it in with any kind of movement. You can have fish flopping in the basket, and it's still going to be to the 100th accurate.
Yeah, they have a triple harmonic balancing system,
right,
that won't allow any deviation of weight. So.
That's exactly right.
Pretty good.
And all 3 sets of scales will be they're all calibrated the same. They're all exact. All the measuring boards we'll be using on our measuring boards a check-it stick. So that's the official measuring device for the TroutMaster series, the SpeckMasters series, like we had in TroutMasters back in the day. It will be the check-it stick, and everybody, that's what you want to use when you're measuring your fish. Because, when we butt these fish up with their mouth closed, head first, and you get the longest length possible out of these fish. That's the way a game warden or anybody with TPW is going to measure your fish. We squeeze the tail, sweep it, the longest length, that's the length of that fish. And no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you have a 24 7/8 on your ruler and you didn't use a check-it stick and it comes up over 25 on ours, you're done. That fish can't be weighed in.
That's right.
So that'll hurt you with one fish. If he's that close, I would advise getting another one that's going to make it. That way you can get your 3 fish total weighed in every day, because you got to have your 3 fish each day. You really do.
Yeah.
Unless you got, a 9-pounder and a 5-pounder, you don't need a third fish each day. But
that's right. I've got another question here. They want to know about the boundaries, and I've had a question about the boundaries as well. Gentleman asked me about if the jetties were in there, and I said yes.
Yeah, the jetties are in there. Yeah.
Basically, it's mile offshore?
1 mile offshore.
Right.
That's that's the whole contiguous beachfront from Rollover Pass to San Luis Pass.
Okay.
I know the jetties stretch more than a mile offshore, but if you're fishing the jetties, you're fishing the jetties. You're not going down the beach and then going out past the 1 mile mark and fishing a rig or something. And And there, we got one guy, Brent Juarez, Captain Juarez, wants to know what type of measuring style are we going to use. We're going to use hands-on, Brent. We're going to use our hands. We're going to lay them in a trough. Give me one of those measuring
right
boards. There's one right there.
We
I'll
can
show
bring
'em.
that on the screen.
Yeah, this is the
matter of
old one.
fact.
We're building new ones, but this is the old one like I
Set it
used
right
back
here in
when I had
front.
my tournament. Just set it right here in front. We can do it without knocking the computers over. They can't see it on the screen, I don't
There
think.
you go. Turn it that
Here,
way.
let's put it up here. Let's get it
You
over.
can see it. You can see it right here.
But what it is, it's a V-type trough, and we'll set the fish in it belly first. And then we put it in there belly first, lay the fish in, butt his head up with the mouth closed. This is real critical. A lot of guys will mismeasure fish, and that's how they get so many tickets. With the mouth open, you're going to get a little extra length out of it, so make sure that mouth is closed all the way and measure him, and then squeeze the tail, get the longest length out of the tail and just fan it, and you'll see on your increments, on your lines on the measuring board itself how long it really is. So that way, and it's like, if you've got one that's borderline 16 inches, just make sure you keep them alive, because if you do ice them, sometimes those trout they'll draw up a 1/16 of an inch. Some maybe an eighth, but most of the time about a 1/16. And we do have a rule in our tournament, even though we allow a dead fish if you kill one, because I know it's going to happen. It's happened to me before. If you catch them on top waters, one hook just touches underneath the gill plate and punctures the gill. You get any blood at all out of there, he's going to die in the live well. Well, what I'd recommend doing instead of letting that fish waste in the live well, now some tournaments will tell you can't ice your fish.